Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're just talking about a few things different than what we normally do, but we are talking about fire starters. Everybody in the world knows you take a cotton ball, some petroleum jelly, you swab that sucker just like that, and you take a ferro rod, whatever, it becomes a fire starter. Cotton in itself will burn, but when you have petroleum jelly, it just makes it even better. But it's not waterproof. The problem with it is nobody wants to carry a bag full of these in the woods, because then you just have just a smeared mess instead of a bag. If that bag gets open, if it pops and the top of it comes open or whatever, and these start getting out, they're gonna get oil and stuff all over your gear. But nobody wants that. But what if there's a way? What if there's a way to take this, seal it up nice and tight, and it becomes waterproof? Let's talk about it. Okay, there's this method. I saw this method right here on, it was like a TikTok video, and the kid that did it said this is how you waterproof a fire starter, which I thought it was pretty cool. And basically you take your same cotton ball, dip it in your petroleum jelly, then you take it into a piece of tin foil and you fold it up, and just kind of like this here we did in the video. The problem is last week I did a test on that. I actually took this, threw it in a cup of water, walked out to our campfire, and the thing that you're supposed to be able to do is cut a slit here, but when I took it out of the water, I was squeezing the water out of it, and then I cut it open, and the petroleum jelly of it did catch fire, but then it went out pretty quickly because the cotton ball was soaking wet. So it didn't work. Water does seem to find its way into the crevices, and it does get the cotton ball wet. So it doesn't work as far as waterproofing it. But it did, in my opinion, make it water resistant, because we did pour some water out. When we poured the water out, we had a secondary one of these on the ground. The water got on top of it. We were able to cut it open, and it actually did work very well. So I would say this is water resistant, but not waterproof. Then I saw this method. I thought this method was really, really stinking cool. And basically, you take a straw. This is just an extra straw I had. Chick-fil-A gave me one too many straws, so I just put it aside. I figured I'd use it someplace or another. And I thought, you know what, I'll make some fire starters out of it. But basically, you burn the end, then you cut it off about, where are my scissors here? Cut it off about right there. Okay, so what we have is our capsule here. This side is sealed, this side is open. And what you do is you unroll a cotton ball. Yes, you can unroll a cotton ball. When I saw this for the first time, I was like, what? But you can. If you actually look at it really close at the end, you can actually see the spinning layers there. So you actually can unroll a cotton ball. Then what you do is you take some petroleum jelly and then smear it all over your unrolled cotton ball. It's gonna get in there, it's gonna make a mess. It's awesome. And you roll it up nice and tight. Let's cut this thing in half. So what we did is as you can see, it's all over my fingers. There's a lot of petroleum jelly on this thing. What I did is, because it's just really thick, really big, I cut it in half so that we can fit it in this capsule here, and I'll just make a secondary one for the other piece. Then take a toothpick or a match or something, shove it down in there. Everything's sticking to my fingers now. Then you take a pair of needle nose pliers, Leatherman, whatever you want, and then you burn this in, and then you have a watertight, water-sealed fire starter. So here's our second one. Man, we got 2 out of 1, that's awesome. Stuff it down in there, get it nice in there, and then we're gonna burn it. All right, guys, when it comes to burning these things here, like this, when I'm sealing it up, there's some deer here. So when it comes to burning them, I am burning them outside, simply because you are burning plastic, and I'm not real sure how safe it is, so I don't want to do it in the house. So I'm kind of standing where wind's blowing that way, blow it away from me, we should be okay. Just burn it till it seals real good. It cools really fast. Boom. Then you have a sealed capsule sealed fire starter, whatever you want to call it. Let's go burn, baby. Let's go burn. As you can see, we're out here. This is where we were camping the other day. You can see we have our little fire ring here. A little out of breath. I'm not sure why. But we actually have two types of fire starters with us today. We have the one cotton ball that we wrapped into a piece of tinfoil to make it, well, it was the guy that put it out there said it was waterproof. It is not waterproof, and we're about to show you why. And then we have the one we just made here with an actual straw. So, but what I have is I put both of these guys here. I've had them soaking in some water for probably 10 minutes now. Not really did that on purpose. I was just going to put it in water and come out here, but then the wife needed me to do something, so I got stuck inside for a bit. But again, I'm going to lay this guy out for a specific reason. We're going to dump this water out. Man, if I can get my stuff together. This is one that was in my pocket. It's going to sit over here so we don't get them mixed up. And then I'm going to pour the water out from the glass of, from this little glass, and I'm going to pour it over this one to get some water on it. But these two guys here have been sitting in the water for several minutes. Oh, all right. Here's our sealed one. Man, it feels good. And then here is the one that's been in the water. You can see as I'm squeezing it, the water's coming out. The water works its way up in there. It'll get that cotton ball good and wet. The problem is the petroleum jelly was so light, but it'll burn out really quickly because of the wet cotton ball. I tested this out last week, so I'm telling you that's what will happen. But we'll light it just for grins right quick. Well, we'll see if it will light. It was in there for quite a while. Yeah, you can see that cotton ball is nice and wet. I don't have a ferro rod on me right now. Actually, I do. Just not going to do it. But let's see if it'll light. I don't think it will because that cotton ball is wet. It's trying to. It's got a little flame going there, but it is just too wet. It is not going to really do very well. That petroleum jelly will burn, but once it hits that wet cotton, it's gonna smother its way out. It's trying, man, but it's just too wet. Anyways, all right, so we have this guy here. This guy here was actually soaking in the water. Actually, I'm sorry, that was soaking in the water. That water dripped down on this guy, so this guy here got wet, but it did not soak in the water. And so you can see this cotton ball actually looks dry. That's good. Some petroleum jelly right there. Much easier to light, much bigger flame. Going to be much easier to get kindling started or get you a fire started than that little flicker that thing had going on down there. So this right here is a good way to make it water resistant but not waterproof. More cotton you have exposed, better it's going to be. Yeah, I mean, that's a decent little flame there. Get you some good fire, some kindling, some stuff that'll really catch fire really quick, and man, you'll have your fire in no time with that. We'll leave that one right there. And this guy right here, this one is the one that we sealed in a straw. It was in the water along with that guy there. Basically, what the idea behind it is, cut this piece off right here. Get you a little of that cotton out. Now what I would say is because you are burning a straw, some plastic, I would say upwind from it. We're going to use the one down here to light this guy. There it goes. starting to get hot. There it goes. That one down there is still burning, man. That's good. So this is the one that was soaking in the water. This is the one that just got wet, and this is the one that was in the straw. Again, I would say if you're burning the straw, to make sure the wind is blowing away from you, because I don't know exactly how toxic that stuff is, but guys, just make sure. Your health is important to me and your loved ones, so make sure that you are downwind from that thing, or I should say upwind from that plastic burning. But it is by all means waterproof, and it is light. It's going pretty good. And this is only about half of a piece of cotton. That is a whole piece of cotton there. What I would say on the straw is pull out a good chunk of it, like we did there, and that way it just seemed to take a flame a lot better. But anyways, it's really cool. I mean, basically you waterproofed a fire starter. That's awesome. The biggest thing is when we go on our camping trip, I say camping trip, we're going on a hunting excursion in late October, early November. I'm trying to be prepared for a lot of things, because you just never really know. And you would think that for the most part, you're probably not going to get submerged in water, so you're going to be okay with it just wrapped in tinfoil. The thing about it is, you just never really know. We had just crossing some creeks earlier. We got a little wet, nothing crazy. If you just got dunked a little bit, you got out real quick, the tinfoil would probably be fine. But if you're in the water for any significant amount of time, I don't know. That water's going to work its way into the crevices. I don't know. I know you never can tell. What I would say is water resistant. If you just get rained on, it's probably going to be okay. But if you get submerged, it might be some problems. But regardless, we've waterproofed some Firestarter. That's pretty awesome. It's cotton ball Vaseline, which is pretty common, or pretty well known, I should say. And then wrapped in tinfoil. There was a kid that put it out saying it was waterproof. It is water resistant, not waterproof. But if you do seal it in a straw, it is waterproof. Anyways, guys, hope y'all found that useful. Anyways, I love y'all. I'll see y'all next week.